Greetings everyone, we're here in downtown Cleveland, Ohio, starting off at the corner of East 22nd Street and Euclid Avenue, passing through the Cleveland State campus in downtown. Today is Tuesday, July 15th, 2025 at about 11:36 a.m. Eastern Time, 83 degrees Fahrenheit. Past couple of days I've done a few live streams in downtown Cleveland, but I wanted to do a pre-recorded video today that ventures down into a portion of the flats. So I grabbed the bike and decided, let me record the bike trip down there as well, so there'll be a little less narration for, like when I'm doing my live streams, I'm taking my time and talking about more things within the downtown Cleveland portion. This one will just be me kind of riding by it with less commentary about the individual places. I'm going to cross over. You can see the Longship food truck that is at Cleveland State, I believe on a daily weekday basis, and then the seating area that they have out here for the outdoor seating. The CSU buffet marketplace is closed during the summer. I think we should be able to make this light here. Now at Playhouse Square. See Superman being advertised only in theaters. So not playing at one of these places obviously, but nonetheless heavily promoted as it was filmed in Cleveland, or a lot of it was filmed in Cleveland. Earlier today I saw a tent being set up at the US Bank Plaza on the left over there, but looks like they're still setting up things. I'm not sure what event that will be for. I noticed these signs over here on the right. They've added a few more of them that protrude out, specifically this one on the end for the Friars table, which I'm glad they added that because it's sort of hidden. Like if you didn't see that sign sticking out, you wouldn't necessarily realize that there's a restaurant right here on the corner. So I think that gives it a lot more character. And I forgot to plug in my battery pack to my camera. Let me do that after I cross the street here. now approaching East 12th Street. Out in front of you, you have that shot of the Sherwin-Williams headquarters building with the exterior all completed. They're just working on the inside. But as I pointed out multiple times in the past, that's changed. If you're a regular person or regular driver or walker or biker down Euclid Avenue heading westward, that changed your view of the landscape. Before, you would just be able to see through to the sky through that entire spot. Now it's right in the middle, smack dab, the Sherwin-Williams building. A little bit of good timing here with the East 9th Street traffic light changing in our favor. City Club Apartments on our left. Otherwise, officially known as Skylight, I think it's 776. Skyline, 776. We should also be able to pass by the food trucks that are at Public Square every Tuesday during the summer. Not sure if some days they have music there as well, but I'm not sure if today's one of those days. We'll see as we navigate closer there, now at East 6th Street. More and more of these pavers on Euclid are having that issue again that they did a couple of years ago, where you just see a lot of them sunken in or bowing inward. A few years ago, it got really bad in some spots. Someone even, or a gap had formed, put a mini garden up in a square as a kind of a joke. Okay, now we are at Public Square. Try to see where exactly the food trucks are located. think the food trucks are on the eastward end, not the fountain side. What food trucks do we have here? We got at least 4 of them. This is from 11:30 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. on Tuesdays. We got the Urban. Looks like it has some wraps. Then this next one might be sweets. I think it's like popsicles. Eat Mexican. Tacos and burritos at Holy something. Oh, I guess as part of the food truck series, they also have more chairs over there, and they do have the Public Square concert series going on. Although understandably a lot of people don't want to be in the sun. Here you've got Rooster's Asian street food, and then the last one over here is not a food truck. It is just kind of a trailer. Probably they had some of this equipment, if I had to guess. And then they have a portable restroom here. Up ahead of us, there's a little bit of a Cleveland mural that I'm not familiar with seeing in the past. On the edge of that building down there. Now if we go by 55 Public Square and the Fahrenheit restaurant, I think we can still make a right-hand turn then, that it's not blocked off. I think the blocked off fencing is just to our left where they're continuing some of the Sherwin-Williams construction. Yeah, we can get out over here. Approaching St. Clair. We'll go ahead and cross here, and then I'm going to get up to the other side of the street. Or maybe I'll go down by West 6th Street instead.
I'm like, let me. have regular events.
And right over here you have Lighthouse Park, paying homage to some history of the lighthouse in Cleveland. The cool benches. I did a featured video when they first released this, and on the right there's a little bit more history about the warehouse district in general. And you've got some murals here on the left. We've got a road closed sign there. I think it's just the road. So I'm still gonna cross over to the other side. I think the sidewalk is still open. Dog walkers in Cleveland, you got to be a little bit better. It's 2 cases in downtown today I've seen of dog poop without it being cleaned up. This leads us to the Flats East Bank. We'll spin around here for the lunchtime hour. See how the traffic is and the river. We'll do our loop going this direction. Inside Beerhead Bar and Eatery has paper over their windows, so they may be just closed in general. There's Punch Bowl Social, Margaritaville at the end. I've been noticing, I'm gonna have to do a Google search. I've been noticing a lot of the VEO bikes and scooters throughout Cleveland, as well as a lot of like newly installed blue bike racks in certain locations at downtown. This is Decades. Is Decades like a new name for a place? Or is that... Oh, interesting. So is the Big Bang dueling pianos gone? This is... I had been here a few times as the Big Bang. And you still have it on that door there, where it says Big Bang, but the actual signage up top, let me adjust it for you guys, says Decades. I wonder if they still do the dueling pianos and just rebranded. Good night, John Boy. Guess I just assumed the lunchtime hour would be a little bit populated. There's Dante's Inferno, but maybe the evening is more of the time. I mean, I definitely know evenings are well traveled here. Over there it says I hate cowboys, but also says space for lease. Here's high five. And then alley cat. Can we navigate through here? I think we can take the wheelchair ramp or ramp downward. Check out the close views of the Cuyahoga River. Like no one is down here. Even the boats aren't being actively used. Bummer. I was hoping the show a little bit busier of a stretch. Trust me though, there's a lot of times either evening or weekends where you'll see this area more flourishing. Looks like you got some landscapers over here doing some work. Some of these places are open, like Lake House and then Corky or Cocky's Bagels. And certain evenings you can take the water taxi over to the west bank of the flats right here. I did that once on a live stream.
Yeah, but that's the thing is like they hang on.
There you go, at least got someone on the water over there. Jacob's Pavilion's also there. Underneath the bridge here is an area branded as Canal Basin Park, and new mural just went up at the beginning of July. It looked very pretty when I saw pictures of it online. It's supposed to be representing the Towpath Trail, which starts or ends here depending on which way you're going. I think I know where the mural is located, but we'll see if I have to do any hunting for it. Alright, I think it's a little bit over here and then to the left. Hopefully I didn't pass it. Oh yeah, I see it now. This is where I thought it was when I looked on Google Maps. So the Towpath Trail, if I adjust the camera here, starts at the top or ends at the top, depending on, again, which direction you're going. Cleveland at Canal Basin Park, passes through Cuyahoga Heights, Independence, Valley View, Brecksville, Boston Peninsula, well, obviously not Boston, Massachusetts, but still in the region here. Everett, Cuyahoga Falls, joins up at the 40-mile mark with Akron, then goes to Barberton, New Franklin, Canal Fulton, Crystal Springs, Massillon, Navarre, Bolivar, Zor, and then it presumably ends at Dover, which I gotta look up on the map exactly where it's at. Yeah, so that's a long trail. I've never ridden the trail really beyond, I don't know if I've actually taken the Towpath Trail other than just this downtown Cleveland portion. But I know that's a lot of people have done that. The reason I haven't done it in the past is, I've thought to myself, okay, I'd like to ride it one way, but then I don't want to ride it back. So I'd have to do some more digging on ways to get back if I ever pursued that. Yeah, here's the new Towpath Trail mural. Forgive my camera making this horrible vibrating sound. Eventually I'm gonna have to replace this thing or get a new one because I just can't figure out something with the internal mechanisms must have gotten messed up. I'm gonna go ahead and snap a few pictures of this though. Very well done by the artist. The middle part there also has downtown Cleveland. It looks like the artist is at Keile Schwab. And then the last thing we want to look at for today's video is the Scranton Peninsula portion of the flats. That's where, I mean, Cleveland historians can probably speak a lot to what it was way back in the day. Like when I was growing up, a lot of the flats areas were just Deadsville, period. But then in my lifetime, in recent years, not advisable to drive the bike on this, by the way. This is like decrepit. I should have just gone in the street. Or the other side, where it's a little, I guess they do have it protected in the road there. But yeah, in recent years, Brewdog, the restaurant, was developed down here and seemed to be pretty popular. And then now, last December 2024 was the last time I was by here, this specific spot on Carter, to see the housing developments, how they're building a whole new neighborhood down here. So I wanted to see what the progress was on that. You can imagine Brewdog's got to be loving this, because it was already an attraction for people to come down here and enjoy it. I wonder how many other restaurants may open in the lower levels of these places. But in total, when you see all this housing, this is all new, just being built. I'm not sure how many have had people move in. The last time I came through in December, they still had a ton of construction vehicles here, so I couldn't quite ride up and down here. But their buildings are named differently. Like this one on the left here is called the Collins. I believe some of the other buildings are going to have different names. And I thought a few of these are going to have space for potential retail. Got the sprinkler system going here. I could use a little breeze. There we go, that felt good. Make sure my camera didn't get droplets on it. In total, I read that it's supposed to be 600 apartments and townhomes, which is expected to have a population of about 1,000 people. And then, for some perspective, the foundry would be located there. So I think you should be able to see the Cleveland script sign somewhere. The Cleveland script sign would be located in that direction right there. But we're literally at a spot where we're like parallel to it, so it doesn't look like anything. You just kind of have to know it's there. But that's where the Cleveland script sign, and it used to be very picturesque because there was nothing in this area, so you get a nice low-level view of downtown Cleveland. Now if you go over there for that script sign, you've got the big Brewdog logo in front and a lot of these apartments in the way. So I feel like it's a thing where they could eventually, I've read nothing about this. This is just me giving my own personal opinion. In the future, they could say, hey, you know what, let's find a better spot for this Cleveland script sign. Because the landscape has certainly changed since they first put it in. I just wanted to give you guys an example of the depths of this, and you can see a lot of the places on here. Based on this, I would say that there's a lot of residents that have already started occupying this. I don't think there would be this many cars here otherwise. I'm just going to loop over here quickly. I don't think there's anything to see, but just catching a glimpse. I mean, you get views of like Progressive Field, more views of downtown Cleveland, but yeah, otherwise the housing project is kind of interrupted because you have the railroad tracks there. But you would think that you've got this developed, now you have land that's a little bit further west here that could be developed in the future. I'm not sure where it's planned, but they said in one of the recent articles that there are plans for some single family homes, meaning freestanding, that are like in the works to be developed down here. You've got the parking garages, parking spots as well. Looks like some electric charging stations. So yeah, I'm glad I came by here to see the update on this. And I was reading articles online. They're hoping to attract like young professionals and young people in the medical field in this area. So again, it's nice to see all the housing. The one thing that's lackluster is it's a little bit lacking, in my opinion, of like green space area and maybe I assumed, but I swear I'd read that they would eventually be potential restaurants and stuff moving in or leasing some space. Because I really feel like you do kind of need that. Otherwise, I'd be like, yeah, you could come down here and just live here, but there needs to be something that gives it a little bit more of a neighborhood feel beyond Brewdog. And last but not least, this would be part of the Towpath Trail, which I have ridden a sliver of this before. But the other day in my live stream, I was trying to, from near Progressive Field and Rocket Arena area, looking downward onto the Cuyahoga River, I wanted to capture a view of the future currently being constructed Cleveland Clinic Global Performance Center and Training Center for the Cavaliers, because they said they had topped out the construction on the beams for that. But from the street level up there in downtown, they had a bunch of construction vehicles and said like sidewalk closed, so I couldn't get a view of it. But I can already tell from here. You can see it from across the river. By the way, since I'm doing this, you can't quite see the view of downtown Cleveland, so let me make sure I'm panning over there at the post office plaza building, terminal tower, key tower, Huntington building, and then beyond this, with the trees blocking it, are Progressive Field and Rocket Arena. I hope they find a better way to connect this part of the flats to the one that they're trying to develop the global center from. I thought maybe we would get a view of it from over here, but it's actually not. You're going further away from it. But anyway, this is the bike trail that would eventually become the Towpath, but this would lead you to either Tremont or the Ohio City area. Oh, right here. There you go. There's your view of it. If I pull over here. Again, forgive the darn vibration on this. But right in front of you, I swear I want to punch this camera. Right over there, that's where the Global Performance Center, you can see part of it, and then also continues right under the bridge here. That bridge would be a nice way to link the two, but I don't think I've ever seen it in operation. Otherwise, you just have to like really kind of go around to get from one side to the other. Similar to the Flats East Bank and then the West Bank of the Flats. But anyway, that's our video covering the Flats area and part of downtown Cleveland. If you enjoyed this video, feel free to hit the like button. Subscribe if you haven't already before I bash this darn camera that's malfunctioning, and we will see you next time.